Okie dokie artichoke, you may have heard or read about the ICAC, which is the Independent Commission Against Corruption. Every Australian state and territory has one, but we do not have one on the federal level, and we need one. But I have one question that I feel is fairly important. What do you mean corruption? Okay, I'll explain. Okay, to quote this little gem, payments may be authorised under this section even though the payments would not otherwise be authorised by law or required to meet a legal liability. Now, I can't tell you when that specific bit was added or if it was originally there, but this is the Parliamentary Service Act 1999. Something else from 1999 that I want to bring to your attention. Public Service Act. Seems innocent enough, but administered by Prime Minister and Cabinet, and might be from 1999, but August 2017 is when some tweaks were made. And you always go to the miscellaneous section because you know the good shit's in there. Payments in special circumstances, just like what I just showed you from the other act. And I quite like the immunity from civil proceedings. So get some money and get out of jail free card. Sweet. This example, I think, is a fairly good one. We have here a Fresh Act 2018, Treasury Laws Amendment enhancing the ASIC capabilities. Now that's the Australian Security Investments Commission. Then you read on to see it says, an act to amend the Australian Securities and Investment Commission Act 2001 in relation to competition in the financial system to provide that the ASIC is not a statutory agency and to remove the requirements of the ASIC to engage staff under the Public Service Act 1999 and for related purposes. And then it goes on to even say again, the short title, the opposite of what it really wants to do. I have some more examples. This time it's not from an act or a bill, this is just simply from a guidebook from the AEC for political parties and donors on how to record and report their donations. I picked just a fun little page here where it just explains you need to keep in mind that the disclosure threshold for the donations is 13,500. It probably changes every year. And attendance at political parties and functions, they are also donations if they're seen equal to value, blah blah blah. You can go back and watch my video I did named Follow the Money, where I go through like the latest donations to the two major Australian parties, and I'm pretty sure that if you're giving money to a politician, a political party, you're doing it for favours, you're going to expect something in return, and clear as day is how it would operate. That's why I really don't understand why not more people are concerned or aware and why it was allowed to happen in the first place. This one is amazing. This instrument makes a number of technical amendments to the Public Government Performance and Accountability Rule 2014, including amendments relating to the renaming of the Immigration and Border Protection Department to the Department of Home Affairs, the requirements for disclosure of certain types of material personal interest by Commonwealth officials, clarifying the application for the Finance Minister's banking delegations, directions to the Commonwealth Superannuation Corporation's bank account, updating references to the Commonwealth procurement rules, removing the Corporation and Markets Advisory Committee as a listed entity, and amending the purpose for the listed entity National Mental Health Commission, administered by Finance. Now, I have no idea why all of this stuff is in the same act, but I guess it makes it easy to cover up other things you do, because you couldn't just go back and change this without it looking a little bit suspicious. If we have a look at some of the amendments since November 2018. This one. The purpose of this section is to restrict certain officials of the Commonwealth entities who are appointed under a law and have a material personal interest in a matter from being present or voting at a meeting on the matter. This is made for paragraph blah, blah, of the Act. And then the next one, substitute. What's different? It looks virtually the same, but the purpose of this section is to restrict certain officials of the Commonwealth entities who are appointed under a law who have disclosed a material personal interest in a matter from being present or voting at a meeting on the matter. And then the whole thing, they've just gone through everything and changed it to disclosed in front of this. After have, insert disclosed. Through the whole thing. They pretty much just changed it so you can have a conflict of interest as long as you don't tell anybody about it. That's my read of it. Okay, to conclude with what we've learned from our little corruption corner we've got going on here, Australia allows corporations to give gifts, donations to political parties, and we don't really seem to do or think much of it. And we have politicians changing laws to cover their tracks, cover their ass, get them money than get them out of the shit once they're caught, by the looks of it. So yes, we need a independent commission against corruption on the federal level, like it's nobody's business. But we need to make sure it works. We need to make sure it can actually catch and prosecute people guilty of corruption. And I think if they've made a law which will either make it so they haven't done anything illegal in a sense, or they cannot be prosecuted, then I think if my suggestion would be if they had involvement, or if in the time period of that law being changed or amended, it should instantly just be flipped back and they get done with the original system before they changed it, because that there in itself is, I find, a new freaking amazing level of corruption. So yeah, thank you. Like, subscribe, share, and have a nice day, everybody.